Ariel, I got the amazing chance to sit down with Adnan. How are you doing today, Adnan?
Just fine, how are you?
Pretty good. I'm pretty excited to be here. This is one of my first times coming to a UFO convention, so that's really cool.
Well, welcome. It's interesting. A lot of interesting people here.
So what got you into it?
Well, usually I think you almost have to have experiences as a kid or a lifelong experiences to kind of go this crazy, because for most people this is something out of the norm, and unless you've had your own experience, just a simple sighting of some strange light in the sky is not enough to go this far into the subject. Because usually it's when you're having experiences, but the rest of the world is denying it, you either have the option of, okay, I'll accept of being crazy, or I will just go my own path and make my own path and find out what's going on.
Yeah, and you can find more people that also have your exact same experiences as well.
Yeah,
so
like at
really
this
cool.
conference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what brings you here, if I may ask that?
To this conference? So, well, now I'm part of the organizers.
Nice.
Nancy Vernon, she's my mother-in-law.
Nice.
And when I initially started coming down here was in 2012, was because one of my friends wanted to see Dolores Cannon. And we always joked around with him because he kept talking about her so much. We're like, are you ready to go see your girlfriend? You know? And so basically he made us kind of come down here because we were always talking about these subjects. And we didn't realize how big this conference already was. So in 2012, within the first 10 minutes being at this conference, I met Dolores Cannon, I met my wife, my mother-in-law, and I was on TV for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And so that was quite literally the experience. So of course, this was something I came back to all the time. And then of course in 2015, basically my wife and I then were together, and I've been here since.
So I see that you have a YouTube channel. Can you go a little bit more in depth on what your YouTube channel is?
Sure. Well, so when I was 11, I started having experiences. And of course, like everyone else at that time, initially growing up, my family is Muslim. I'm not so much into religion now, especially when you understand more about certain things.
Right.
Not hating on religion, just
No,
I couldn't partake to it because it's too limiting. There's all this stuff here, but the religion would limit their understanding, so I had to kind of go my own way. So anyway, I just kind of got away with it, continued trying to research and figure out what's going on. And finally, the time happened for me to have more one-on-one experiences with whoever this was visiting us. Basically, long story short, the agreement was in the same way that other writers have left books for me behind to read and find out information about this crazy stuff. It was something that I could do if I chose to do it, to basically, in a new format, which is now video, interview other speakers and experiencers and leave it on YouTube for others to find it. Because one of my big thing was, I don't want to sell anything to people.
Right.
I just absolutely hate selling it. Well, obviously, not that I couldn't have come up with this on my own, but the message I got was like, you know, you can just record it, put it out there, and universe works in mysterious ways. Whoever needs to find it will find it.
Yeah.
And that I was okay with. And so in 2014 I started UFO Hub, and just been doing interviews. And then here and there I would share some more of my own experiences because people want to know more about that. And I tell them, but I limit myself in that perspective because what I've experienced is still a lot too crazy for people. So I really only share it with those that when I hear it in person. On camera, I just do it, so leave it, and whoever happens to find it, that maybe might help them. Because a lot of the fear, they understand that will come up for humanity making that contact. And so their process of making contact with me was that perfect bridge for me to understand what they're doing and to realize the fears that I'm going through, and to find a solution that I can maybe tell somebody else, hey, if this happens, this is why it's happening, and it's okay, relax. You know, so that, not to say to be some kind of expert, but just to be somebody like, hey, I've been there, done that, this might help you. Because it is quite jarring mentally.
Going back to what you were talking about, your experiences, I just want to know like more about like what you've gone through, because you seem like very wise. Can you just share with us
when it comes to experience, you have several different modes.
For sure.
And in this world, we're only used to the physical mode, which is show me video, show me pictures,
Right.
or have, bring them by. The challenge when it comes to contact, and this is just cutting straight through any long story, just getting to the point for you, they're actually more interdimensional than they are spatial, if that makes sense. So there are different beings that are within our, what we call 3D world, and they're
Right.
far away, and but a lot of times these other beings are just on different dimensions, having exactly same lives like we are, but on different modes. Like some would seem advanced to us, some may be close to us,
Yeah.
but the fact that they can travel interdimensionally still makes them more advanced than we are. So what's been happening a lot is that a lot of contactees have what we now call out-of-body experiences, because the astral body, your soul being, the soul that you are, part of this whole creation, it doesn't have to overcome these physical dangers.
Yeah.
You just basically, you already are on that level, and they can just interact with you. So you might think it's a dream, and you say, oh yeah, I woke up and I was at the ship and I was talking and so on, but your body's actually still in bed, and so all these things, again, to a normal person is absolutely crazy. But the same way that, let's say, a scientist or any of these people that have advanced humanity are doing it because they love what they're doing, and then later on we understand what they've done for us without me ever being a physicist, or ever meeting Tesla and electricity. I feel like all of us, the crazy UFO fanatics, that we keep pushing to want to know more. Hopefully we can gather enough of a library for the rest of society to be able to learn and take the slow steps. What jarred us, they can do it slowly.
When the extraterrestrial, when they do visit us, what do you hope that they learn from us?
So we already know through many contacts what they already think about us, so it's not something that I would guess about. When it comes to knowledge and understanding, they're way more advanced than we are, just because spiritually you have to, in order to traverse the universe. It's another story that I can talk to you all about. They kind of, the way they look at us is like they don't understand why we can't live in the moment. Because according to them, and if you're into more spiritual things, all there ever is the here and now.
True.
The time we made up, the time slots of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but it's just now.
That's
And so basically they just try to figure out, like, they see both versions of us. They see the human being that's going through the struggle, and they see the higher being that's chosen to be here to go through that struggle. So they constantly having two conversations with us. Sometimes you as the human being remembers having that conversation because, like, oh, so-and-so talked to me about something, I don't know why, and then sometimes you remember them because they spoke to you as the human body. And so I'm sorry I can't directly answer your question because it's they're so far mentally and morality and spiritually wise that it in a way it seems a bit silly that they could take something from us. It's if anything, there's everything we can learn from them.
Exactly. I just really appreciate you for coming and sitting down and talking to me, and I think leaving this interview just with me and you, I'm gonna go back and tell everybody what I've learned, and I see more things in a broader spect than I did sitting down and in the beginning of this interview, if that makes any sense. So I really
thanks for having me.
you.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.